Okay, welcome back. Now, Jeff, so as a home inspector, I feel like I've got two sets of clients on every inspection. I've got my buyer and I've got the realtors. And sometimes they have their interests aligned, sometimes they do not. I don't kill deals very often, but I killed one yesterday. And, you know, I always live with a little bit of fear of how much fire and brimstone I'm going to get from the realtor. But, you know, when I have to choose between protecting my buyer and protecting my realtor, it's the buyer all day long. So from my point of view, and the reason I bring this up, you've got a couple of sets of clients, and they don't have necessarily aligning interests either. You've got one client that is the owner and one client that is the renter.
Right.
And so talk to me about how you address those. Which one takes priority and why?
Yeah, it's good question. So I guess in my mind, to even just keep it separate, I consider the property owner my client, and the tenant I consider my customer. My fiduciary responsibilities are to my client, to the property owner, is the way that I feel it. But there's also an ethical and good service that needs to be provided to the customer, to the tenant. And sometimes those, like you said, don't align perfectly. They don't match up. Sometimes the tenant wants more and is a little more picky than needs to be provided to them. And sometimes it's the opposite, where the client, the property owner, is not quite as invested in their property as they should be and in keeping the tenant happy. And so I feel my job is to be in the middle and kind of bring both of their ideas together, to educate both of them as to what is the proper balance.
Do you ever get a client, an owner, who actually goes further than you think he should go in maintaining and taking care of the home?
You mean doing too much to make it nice?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly. You know, sometimes they want to go through the home and make it perfect, and they spend months and months and months, sometimes trying to take care of every little thing while the home is vacant. And you know, I try to explain to them, nobody's expecting every little nick on the wall to be gone. Nobody's expecting, you know, everything to just be absolutely perfect, and it almost seems like they're not able to move forward because they're so hung up on every little detail. And in the meantime, it's costing them thousands of dollars sitting empty.
You think that's a fear thing, that maybe they fear being in the business of renting and they don't know what to do, so they keep fixing?
Sometimes. I've run into that with potential clients, people that wanted to get into the business, that talked to me, and we'd gone over all the information and the details, and they just kept saying, you know, let me take care of this, let me take care of this, and eventually it fizzles out, and they never sign up, it never goes forward, and you know, I guess for me, myself, I always tell my kids, I say, stop talking and do. And so, you know, and there's a fine line to that, but you know, when I'm trying to get my kids to do their chores, you know, they want to talk and talk and talk, and I say, just do, and anyway, I find the same with people and potential clients.
Yeah. So what sorts of poor management did you run into when you got into that, and how do you address that now?
So what kind of poor management did I see from...
When you got into property management, what drove you to that? What bad practices drove you to that?
So one story that really sticks out to me, it was with one of my own properties. So, and again, this was before I was a property manager. The management company, you know, they just had a series of bad tenants coming in. And the last tenant said, you know, the management went and checked it, and they said, oh, the property's not bad, we probably just need to vacuum the carpet and we'll be back in shape again. And I went out and looked at it, and there was a 5-foot pile of trash in the driveway, the carpets were matted down, there was mud smeared across the walls, there was trash everywhere, and I just thought we were living in different worlds. It didn't make any sense to me.
Like, what part of vacuuming do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Vacuuming the walls here.
Yeah, exactly. And so, series of stories and events and things of that nature led me to the business. I was looking for a career change anyway, and my smart wife suggested property management, and it's been awesome. I've loved it.
One should always listen to the smart wife.
For sure. Yeah.
Keeps you alive.
Yeah. Some other things that I've seen a lot of is management companies that aren't really quick on getting vacancies filled or getting to the work that's needed to be done. I have one particular client right now, and he's just one of several that has similar stories, where his place sat empty for about, I think he said about 4 or 5 months. It was so many years ago now, but and he was so frustrated. He didn't even want to work with any management company. But him and I got in touch with each other, and he said, "I just want my place filled. If you can do that, then just leave me alone. I don't even want to talk to a management company." And anyway, through different different things and providing good service and communication, he started to trust me, and I've been managing for him for, like I said, many years now. But we got his place filled within a couple weeks, and there was nothing wrong with this property. It was great. Just again, poor management that cost him thousands of dollars.
Well, the example you mentioned earlier, where they said, "Well, it needed to be vacuumed," they didn't know. They had no idea. They were saying what they had said before, and it worked that time, so they were saying it again, having no idea what the property really looked like.
Right.
It was a lie. Yeah, they were too busy playing, back in that time, probably Tetris, to actually go do their job.
Yeah.
And so you approach it a little bit differently than that.
Yeah, I having been in those shoes and being a property owner myself, it's really easy to always just ask myself, if this was my property, what would I want done?
Right.
And whether that's dealing with a tenant or with with a problem, with maintenance, with an inspection, and even just the whole management as a whole. If this was my property.
Let's do that segment next. If this was my property, what would I want done? We'll be right back.